rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be was good. Party people in the place to be was good. It's the #1 Chief Rock and Knicks Universe, main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. Salute to everyone watching on X, and salute to everyone watching on YouTube. Just a friendly reminder: turn your notifications to all so that you'll be aware anytime Lawrence Tears, Echo and Essence, and the New York Mets Lounge goes live. Salute to everybody in the chat. I see y'all. I'm going to just say something, get something off my chest real quick because it's been a couple of days, right? But I'll say this, right? Just saying this. Tonight's show is about grit, right? It's about mental toughness. And more than anything, it's about a team that is learning how to win when the circumstances aren't perfect. Because let's be real. Let's be honest. Right? Let's be honest. The win against Chicago wasn't the prettiest win. Right? It wasn't one of those pretty, free-flowing, knock down every three, bunch of dunks, great defensive highlight plays, most of that stuff, man. It was ugly. And the New York Knicks walked into Chicago on the second night of a back-to-back, knowing full well that they were going to have to generate energy from somewhere. Right? The Knicks played last night. The Bulls played last night. Both teams knew it was going to kind of be ugly. So the Knicks had to generate energy, right? Because a lot of times in the NBA, you can't just you can win on talent alone a lot of nights. You don't expect that on the night of a back-to-back. Mitchell Robinson was out. Deuce is still out. And so how do you generate energy against a team and you just showed it up in their city about 4 o'clock in the morning? You just showed up in their city about 4 o'clock in the morning, right? You get about probably, who knows, about 8 hours, 7 hours or so. If you got to the city about 4, you probably didn't get to bed until 7. You know what I'm saying? So you probably didn't wake up until 2 or 3, maybe. Maybe 1 or 2, maybe. Depending on if you needed treatment or not. So if you got into the city and you needed treatment after last night's game, you probably didn't get your day going really until about 3 with food and stuff. So, but anyways, the game felt like a tug of war from the opening tip, right? Neither team had their usual lift. Shots that normally fall weren't falling. Rotations were half a step slow. Mike Brown didn't know who to play really because of energy. But what stood out is the effort for the most part. What stood out is never giving up. Right? So what stood out to me in tonight's game is the fact that the Knicks didn't keep their foot on the gas because there was no gas, but they kept on coming, kept on going, kept on going, kept on going, right? And made their way to, they finally found a place in the game where they can stretch out on the Bulls. Right. Jalen Brunson didn't have, let me see, what did Jalen Brunson do tonight? Jalen Brunson scored in the second half is what I remember. Jalen Brunson was 7 of 19 from the floor. He had 9 assists, had 5 rebounds. Landry Shamet stepped up a lot tonight as our designated shooter. Bridges looked okay defensively at times, but we have to have the question. We have to have the Mikal Bridges conversation, right? So we'll have to have the Mikal Bridges conversation maybe in a few minutes and maybe not. What I was the most proud of, though, what I was the most proud of in tonight's game is not the fact that we beat the Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls had already lost 8 in a row. Who doesn't beat the Chicago Bulls, right? That's not where I was proud at. What I was proud at is, in tonight's game, it looked like they were trying to play for each other. They were trying to play for each other is what it looked like. What it looked like tonight. Right? They were trying to play for each other. They were looking to share the ball with each other. They were passing the ball freely, whether it led to an assist or not. OG looks like he's getting back into the shape we expect OG to be in. Right? Jalen Brunson looks like it's okay to not take the most shots, even though I think he did take the most shots again tonight. Yeah. Yeah. So Jalen Brunson took 19 shots tonight. Right? Jalen Brunson had 9 assists tonight, which, I'm not going to lie to you, I do believe Jalen Brunson has to be an MVP caliber player in order for the Knicks to win a championship. At the same time, I think JB is going to have to play make some. Let me shout out my people that's in the building. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building. Salute. Salute to the members. Salute to Greg Hamilton. Alon Wise is in the building. Torres was good. Andios is in the building. Salute. The son of the legend, Kerry Cox, is in the building. Salute. So the Knicks clearly understand I think they understand at this point that showing up and throwing their jersey on the floor is not going to lead to a championship. I think they're starting to understand that showing up and thinking Jalen Brunson leads the offense and we'll play team defense is not going to work in this league. That's not a formula for championships. With this team, it takes all 10 guys that are going to play, all 9 guys that are going to, all 8 guys that are going to play, whoever it is that Mike Brown plays. It's going to take all of them, right? Nick Yak is in the building. Salute. It's going to take a full-on effort for us to win. Ralph Unreal is in the building. Salute. It's going to take a full-on effort by everyone. And it's going to take everyone embracing their roles, passing the ball, sharing the ball, communicating on defense. It's going to take a lot of stuff. Right? It's going to take a lot of stuff. Tonight, what I noticed in tonight's game is when Landry Shamet was feeling it, there was a concerted effort to get Landry Shamet the basketball. When Landry Shamet got it going a little bit, there was an effort to find Landry Shamet, to screen for Landry Shamet, and to get him the basketball. Did Landry Shamet go for 30? No. But I think he hit a couple shots in a row, and then we started looking for him. Started looking for him. Landry Shamet had 16 points tonight, and in my belief, they were impactful. They were impactful minutes. Right? Also, there were moments in this game, right? There were moments in this game where I felt like the team started to believe in Karl-Anthony Towns. So there were moments in this game where I felt like the team started believing in Karl-Anthony Towns. Right? And I felt like Cat started feeling the love also. And you saw him be more active. I felt like Cat was more active because he felt more, a little bit. Triborough Gigolo, what's good? Just real quick, just a quick plug. Triborough Gigolo and myself, we had an interview with Ray Lansky from You Gotta Respect the Legends of Hip Hop and Legacy on Friday on Echo and Essence, man. Make sure y'all check out Echo and Essence. It was kind of dope. The Cat thing, though, as I watched the game, in my mind, I won't lie to you. I was kind of a sourpuss with Cat during this game. I was like, yo, Jalen Smith, bro. Jalen Smith, you should have 40. You should do, Cat, you should do a 360 windmill dunk in the paint. Cat, you should take 23s and have 40 rebounds. And then at the end of the game, when Mike Breen interviewed Cat at the end of the game, right? When he interviewed Cat at the end of the game, Cat was like, yo, I already understand how, he said, I understand the test, right? I've been scrutinized my whole career. Been under pressure my whole career. I do know how to take the criticism. I know how this thing works. These are Cat's words, right? Cat was like, when Breen asked him about being tired, Cat was like, nah, we professionals, bro. We know how to do this. Like, we're professionals. Right? We're professionals. We know how to do this, and we owe it to the fans to do this thing, right? But if you want to win, and that's what Cat was saying basically the whole time, that he wants to win, whatever it takes to win, right? Whatever it takes to win. That's what this team is willing to do, and that kind of excited me a little bit. I kind of backed off of this thing because sometimes as a fan, you forget that people are human. And when Kat talked about having a support system in place and knowing how to deal with the pressure and only wanting to win, and the support system helping him get the utmost out of his talent and things of that sort, it made me believe that this team may be able to win a championship again. I mean, not championship again, but made me believe again that this team could win a championship. And during the course of an 82-game season, you have the team we're going to see this team play over 100 games. If you count the preseason of 5 games, the regular season of 82 games, and hoping this team makes the Eastern Conference Finals or however long they last, this team is going to probably play close to 100, maybe more games. And we're going to see ups and downs. We're going to see some guys shine, some guys not. Right? We're going to see guys disappear for 2, 3, 4 games in a row, and you're going to wonder what's wrong with them. Right? But in a marathon, we have to understand the most important thing in a marathon is stamina. And as a Knicks fan, as a Knicks player, as an organization, do we all have the emotional stamina to do what it takes to withstand the grind of 100 plus games? And I'm not gonna lie to you, my stamina, but after the Detroit loss, I didn't know if I had that mental or emotional stamina, right? Because their best player looked like a captain, controlled the game, controlled his team, controlled the flow of the game, and we look like a team waiting for our best player to save us. We look like a team that was waiting for our hero to show up. And that frustrated me, right? But at the same time, that is 1 out of 82. And 1 out of 82. HRM is in the building. AWAX1 is in the building. Nick Yak is in the building. Salute. And so when I looked at this game tonight against Chicago, I understand they didn't have a dominant big to go up against Cat and Huck Porty, right? And one of the guys on the Bulls was viewed this as a revenge game, rightly so. Rightly so. And I don't blame him. At the same time, this could have easily been a trap game. Right? Now, chat, here's the thing. This is where I want you to follow me at. Right? This is where I want you to follow my line of thinking, right? Like, nobody knows everything. Right? Knicks content creators are going to be right and they're going to be wrong. Knicks employees are going to be right and they're going to be wrong, right? They're going to be right and they're going to be wrong, right? The main thing is being honest and earnest. can you be honest and earnest? Like, are you saying the right thing in the moment because you believe you're doing or saying what's right? And that's where I am with it, right? That's where I am with it, right? Like, am I doing and saying the right thing because I believe in the right thing, right? Saying this game that you just saw that the Knicks scratched out was the epitome of what the experienced crowd calls a trap game. It's a game on the second half of a back-to-back where you had an emotional win against a great NBA team, and it would have been easy to come into this game knowing that you play Cleveland Tuesday. You play Cleveland Tuesday. So this game could have easily been you don't show up with the energy because you spent so much energy Saturday night and you're trying to build up energy for Tuesday night. So what about Sunday night's energy? So this game could have easily been a trap game. But instead, the Knicks dug deep and found a way to win. The Knicks dug deep, found a way to win, right? Doesn't matter that the Bulls had lost 8 in a row. NBA teams, when you lose, there's one thing to tank, and then there's another thing to be awful and be considered awful. And those teams that are considered to be awful, they legitimately start playing their best basketball, because after you lose 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row, there is a level of pride and professionalism that you start to put forth, because you don't want to be on a roster that gets thrust into that historic context of this team was god awful for this many games. And that's where the Bulls are right now, on the cusp of being in that conversation. Not yet. They've only lost 9 in a row, right? But after you lose 5 in a row, you exist on that slippery slope of, if we don't get this thing together, this might be 15 in a row. This might be 20 in a row, right? And so the Bulls team we played tonight, there was a lot of physicality tonight. There was a lot of physicality tonight. Nick Nation is in the building. Salute. Random guys started knocking down shots. Jalen Smith knocking down threes. Yabusele doing his thing. And so if you're the Knicks, listen, the Bulls legitimately was trying to take it to Detroit last night, and they ran out of gas. They were trying to break their streak last night against Detroit and ran out of gas. And so they're trying to break that streak tonight against the Knicks and ran out of gas. But the Knicks showed something deep down that box scores and things of that sort won't necessarily show you. It's one of the reasons why. So I do a joint with this with this kid, man, Jada Chosen. I be looking at him like a kid. I know he older, like I know he older, but compared to me, like I be looking at like his passion for stuff and like stuff, and I'm like, this cat. I know he a man, y'all. I know that. I respect that. But I'm a little bit older, and I'll be looking like. But anyway, one of the things that we agree on is that the box score doesn't tell you everything. Like all the advanced analytics and stats and all that, it doesn't show you everything. It shows you a snapshot of the completed thing, but it doesn't show you the. Hold on, let me see. This might be him right here. Yo, salute. What's good, boss?
Salute, old man. How we doing?
Oh, I'm an old man now. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. What's good, bro?
chilling. You know what's crazy? I did one of these for a second, and then
Right.
I should have did it when you did it, but I didn't, and it caught up to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry about that,
bro. So the Knicks survive a trap game from the Chicago Bulls, knowing that this Bulls game is sandwiched in between a test from a Western Conference power, and then a test from an Eastern Conference power with Chicago in the middle on a back-to-back. Right. And so it's one of those deals where it's like they could have slept walk into this game, found themselves down by 20, and then be like the Indiana Pacers game all over again, where you look too far ahead to a team and look over a team, and then before you know it, you're in a scrap, you're in a tussle with the team you shouldn't be in a tussle with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's one of my main issues with them is I feel that I'm going to say something today after this about Mike Brown that's different than my usual. But I feel that they it's kind of like you were saying about me, as I heard everything. Be young, we have takes, but we agree on a lot of things. And I'm like, for my son, my son and my mother, all a quarter century apart, identically. 25, he'll be 25, I'll be 50, she'll be 75. I feel like a lot of the times they're all 25 and they're all running and gunning, or 22, and they're running and gunning, and they're in motion and they're playing great. And then once in a while they turn 50 and they take a few moments off. And while they turn 50, the other team turns 25 automatically because they recognize that we turned 50 for that moment.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're running on pavement and we're running in quicksand. Right? All of a sudden.
Yes. The muddiest, jungliest quicksand there is. I will say, on a positive note, that I really appreciated and called for before the game is to see the two new arrivals put in at the same time, and also to have them in elongated periods, not this 45-second BS, not this other nonsense. I wanted a lineup, knowing that Mitch wasn't going to be in there, that had two guards and three people 6'8" and taller. And they did that. It was Brunson. Actually, for a moment, it wasn't even him. But then at the pinnacle, it was Alvarado, Brunson. I know they put up my man Huck for a bit, but then it was Sohan, OG, and Cat. And they were moving. And they were playing D. And they were grooving. And all that stuff about we need to keep up with taller, fast-paced people started to look right. That's a positive note I'm going to give to Mike Brown tonight. I don't have often nice things to say about him. So tonight I'm going to say that I know, and you know what? I just thought of something. Part of it was out of necessity without Mitch, but the problem is I'm going to stay with it.
Right.
You need to have fast-paced, athletic people on a regular basis. I want to see lineups that legitimately have Sohan, Diawara, and Mitch.
Right.
Or Sohan, Diawara, OG.
Okay.
And Mitch. And Cat. Maybe not Mitch and Cat at the same time, but you get what I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have to rely on that 3 all the time. It's like, look, it's not how we learn basketball. That's a new thing. Not new anymore, but it's not.
Yeah.
I'm okay if they don't take $1 million.
Right. I think the Knicks would be okay if they don't take $1 million.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. So I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you.
I agree with you agreeing.
I agree with you agreeing with me agreeing that we agree.
Yes.
Right.
I'm going to end it right there by saying I agree.
You're right. 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 What I'm going to say is, what I want to do is say this. A couple of months ago, right? And I don't know if this is breaking news or broken news, or if it's cap, or if it's true. And so I want to introduce this conversation to the world. Wise told me a couple of months ago. I was like, I don't know, dog, but I'll say it tonight. "30-year-old big men with tons of miles on their legs tend to slow down, right? And we don't know how much they slow down, at what pace they slow down. Like, do they slow all the way down, right? Do they what's the word I'm looking for? Basically where I am with it is this.
Okay.
My belief is that maybe the decline in Cat's numbers can be attributed to 2 things. One is less minutes per game, right? Because he's playing 4 less minutes a game, according to Mike Breen, right? And I think the other part of the decline may be a physical decline. Big men get into their 30s after playing 11 years in the league. There might be a slight, and I'm not trying to ring the alarm, right? Another kind of, whoa.
Hey.
Right. So I'm not trying to ring the alarm, but what I do want to do is what I would like to do is appreciate how great NBA athletes can balance skill and experience versus athleticism, right? Kind of like how Derrick Rose, as a vet, became a more skilled team leader type guy, as opposed to the explosive, dynamic lightning rod point guard from Chicago that he was before injuries.
Scoring.
Right.
Or,
speed.
yeah.
All those things, right?
Yeah.
What I want to say though, how I apply this to Cat is all year I've been noticing that the lift on the jump shot has not been there, and a lot of his shots were short, right? And I've noticed a lot of rim attacks have been, the result has not always been fantastic flushes on the other team's center. Now it's, you don't quite get there. You're like this close to getting there, but the guy fouls you, and now you're on the ground like,
right.
meow, meow, meow. Right.
Is that a cat? Is that a cat?
Yeah, that's a big cat.
Cat.
That's a 7-foot cat.
Right. He kind of right. A 7-foot cat. Kind of like if you're playing 2K and you're using the old Houston team, and you got Yao Ming on a breakaway, and he does a layup.
Yeah.
Like where's the lift on that? You could.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've noticed that.
Right, but just want to say this though. While I'm not saying Cat is in the old folks' home, and I'm not disparaging Cat, but what I would like to do is have folks understand where he might be in his career and how he may have to transition his game differently. Like at this stage of his career, and I'm not saying he's washed, he's still an all-star, right? This dude's still an all-star, right? I'm not saying he's washed.
And relatively young.
The things that we expected Cat to do at 23 is maybe not the stuff that we should expect him to do at 30. Like maybe we should expect him to be on the boards more, right? Maybe we should expect more rebounds, right? Maybe we should expect that free throw percentage to be higher. Maybe we should expect Cat to get more post-up opportunities as opposed to being the mobile 4 playing next to Mitch. If he's a step slower, you don't want to have 2 centers on the floor, right? When Cat was more mobile, right, you could probably do it, but maybe at 30, you would expect him to be, maybe expect us to see less Mitch and Cat together and more Mitch, OG, and Sohan together, or more Cat with 3-point shooters where he can ISO and not be double teamed, right? Yep. And so not taking minutes away from Mitch and not taking minutes away from Cat, but maybe doing it in a different way. Maybe we don't need to see a full season of Cat not quite getting to the rim and dunking on someone like he used to do, right? Maybe we don't need to see a full season. Maybe we're at a point where we're like, yo, you know what? I remember when Cat used to throw that thing down with one hand on Joel Embiid in that same play. And now you're getting fouled all the way to the rim because people are keeping up with you. So they're fouling you all the way to the rim, and now you throw a wild shot off the backboard. And now it looks like you're just flailing when maybe it's the quickness is just not there anymore. Not like it used to be. Maybe it was ranked 99 and maybe right now it's 94. Right? And so because when I looked at Cat driving today, the guys were still where Cat used to blow by centers, right? There was a time where your center was in trouble if he ever got ISO'd on Cat. Cat could go left or right, take him off the dribble, and just dunk on your power forward. Right now, it's
Really?
Cat going to the rim, and they're with Cat the whole way to the rim, and now he's getting bumped and fouled all the way. And instead of us saying, "Hey, maybe Cat lost like maybe not a half a step, but maybe like a quarter step. Maybe he lost a quarter step. Maybe he's not as fast as he used to be." Right? Because we notice instead of us saying that, what we're thinking is, dang, Cat don't hardly get no calls, bro. Blow the whistle. Why aren't we saying, hey man, maybe we should eliminate part of that from his game and have him just spot up underneath the rim, and when he gets there, give him the ball, give him 3 seconds to do his move.
Yep.
Now, maybe that's true, or maybe he's injured. Like maybe he's playing through an injury that we don't know about, right? And maybe they'll say something about it after the season is over, right? But right now, the only evidence we have is Cat is not blowing by people getting to the rim like he used to. All we see is the end result. We don't see the cause of it. Now, maybe it's one of those things. Teams are smarter about how they defend him. Even in that case, changes should be made, right? Instead of Cat and Brunson pick and roll, top of the key, blah, 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 blah. How come we can't just OG and Brunson pick and roll, Cat spot up in the corner for 3, on the roll attempt, Cat goes to the rim, right? Cat goes to the rim. OG, as the roll man, rolls to a corner, and now you get a cutter to the rim. That's a big body guy that can catch in traffic. And if it's not there, you get an OG and an Obi that can shoot the corner 3 in the corner, wide open for 3. You can try these new things. And the reason why I'm saying this is not that I want Mike Brown to throw Cat away, because I don't. And I'm not saying that Karl-Anthony Towns should change his game completely, because I don't think he needs to. But if there is an element of it's like this. It's like if I ask Jay, how good is he in a foot race right now? I'm certain he's going to tell me, hey, man, I'm not as fast as I used to be. Right? It's the same thing with a lot of us. We're not as fast as we used to be. Right? And Father Time sneaks up on you. You don't know when you lost
all the time.
You're basically saying, man, yeah, when I was in high school, I used to throw that thing down. But by the time I got 26, 27, 28, I couldn't dunk no more, bro.
Yep.
I couldn't dunk no more. I used to look up at the rim like, dang, these rims 11 foot? Nah, bro, they 10 feet.
Yep. He looked like he got heavy feet too. He looked, to add that in there. When you got boats like that, now you're all proportional to your body. So like that's really not neither here nor there. But yeah, wear and tear, having a decade in, when you were going hard, getting bumped and bruised and dunking more and doing things like that. You see it all the time. So it's not like this is a Cat exclusive, right? You see it all the time.
Yeah.
Some people it happens to earlier. Some people it happens to later.
Right.
I think those two things that you just mentioned, especially the last part, they're evident. I give you one evidence to support what you just said. This hook foul that he keeps getting. I believe that hook foul is him being a slight bit late due to what you're saying, and instead of trying to deal with the person who is faster than him, he is reaching around him to pull him behind him instead of having to dunk over him.
Okay.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
he's pulling him back so he can make a lane instead of doing that. When he was more agile, younger, he didn't have those type of fouls.
Okay.
That's a new foul to me. For him at least. You know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so I think that, you know, it's on both sides of the ball too. Like that's why I think he has a tippy tap touch problem too. You know, I mean that's a little bit different too, but it is, you know, it's a slow issue. And then I still also think that there is something going on you know, between the ears. You know,
Okay.
I think that there's no doubt about it. So I'm going to add that last point that you just brought up eloquently to this way, that we are so that he is no doubt hearing heard all the trade rumors, all the Greek freak rumors, all this rumors, all you know what you just said. I'm sure he's heard. I've heard. You know, he's heard that he's maybe not even the second option anymore. He's heard everything under the sun, especially the meow and the soft issue, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just gonna go with the meow. And so that that would break the heart, you know, the strongest minded people after you come into a new place. I don't know if anybody else saw it the way I saw it, and I'm okay if no one else saw it the way I saw it because I saw it.
Okay.
When he got here, he was surprised. It felt like he was surprised, even though I don't know why he felt surprised, because they had been mentioned in talks. I'm sure he'd been hearing a couple things, but he loved being the golden child in Minnesota.
Right.
Loved it. And then Butler comes in and he didn't love it as much. But still, he was still their golden child. Drafted to the team, made the team better. That team was booty trash before he got there.
Yeah.
They built that team around him and they became something special. And you could ask my uncle, every year I would put Minnesota in the mix from when he got there. Every damn year. Oh, this year they going to the watch. They're going to, and they wouldn't do it. They couldn't get over a certain hump.
Right.
And then this year, he still comes here though. Last year, starting point guard, starting center in the All-Star game. Roughly 25 and 13. I'm gonna call, you know, but what people the one thing I disagree with a lot of people is I don't think that he had a problem acquiescing to the second role because he was already doing that with Anthony Edwards. That was already starting to become his life already. So I'm not going to give that any credence that he came to New York and he had to be second fiddle to JB, the 6-foot dude who happened to be called the most clutch player in the entire league, even at that height, because he was doing that already. I just think that he gave it his all, and he still got called soft. He still got called Pygmalion. He still got called all sorts of things. And he couldn't really, it didn't resonate. He didn't realize how tough playing in New York is. That Minnesota is like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, want to borrow some sugar? Flour? Over here, you want an egg? Bang! You know what I mean? It's different. And he couldn't formulate himself to that. And it proved to me when we played Minnesota and he kept going on and on about their new uniforms and how it looks weird that his name wasn't on the back of it. And this is year 2. I think we would be perfectly fine with a Karl-Anthony Towns that played late tonight, that could do. Listen, he knows we know his limitations. It is incredibly frustrating with the missed after all this time, with the missed defensive, and not just him, Mikhail, like the missed defensive plays, and to have to double up on that, and then somebody's wide open underneath.
Hey man, I'm gonna just let me just interject this real quick. If Jalen Brunson was a defender, you wouldn't be having to say any of that stuff he's saying. If Jalen Brunson could even spell defense, if Jalen Brunson could fall backwards onto the word defense, all the other stuff that we talk about wouldn't exist. But since Jalen Brunson is such a terrible defender, everybody else on the floor has to do multiple stuff. And since Jalen Brunson is a terrible defender at a place where you need a great defender, it's not just about being terrible at a position. You're terrible at the position that has the ball and controls the pace of the game. For example, if Jalen Brunson could guard Cade Cunningham, then everybody else on the floor could guard guys more natural size to them. But since Jalen Brunson can't guard Cade, and neither can Josh Hart, now you put Bridges there. Now you have mismatches all over the floor because at Josh Hart's size, he's 6'4". Josh Hart is 6'4" full of heart, right? He's legitimately a 6'4" heart muscle, right? But he's 6'4", right? No matter how hard Josh Hart plays, he's still 6'4". And I hear Mike Green occasionally try to sneak in that Josh Hart is 6'5". Bruh, I know what 6'5" is. I live it every day of my life. And Josh Hart is not that. Right? Maybe with some sneakers or something, maybe with those Purple Rain stilettos that Prince used to wear. But Josh Hart ain't that, right?
Some stiletto.
Yeah, but the point I'm getting at is this. there are always going to be blown assignments because there are going to always have to be assignments on the floor because we don't have a natural point of attack defender, right? Mikal Bridges is a wing player that is forced to guard point guards most nights because our point guard can't guard point guards, right? And there's always going to be blown assignments because you have to communicate like certain things, and sometimes you communicate the right thing and somebody is slow, or you communicate the wrong thing because of what you see and there's still a blown assignment, right? So my thing is and I know this is about Cat's defense. I didn't want it to my intent wasn't to go that far into. I was thinking that Wise said something to me a couple of months ago that maybe Cat may have slowed down a tiny bit, and I want to give Wise credit for saying that. So salute and credit to Wise, not saying that it's true, but what if it's happening and we don't notice, right? What if it's actually happening and we don't notice, right? But the thing is about others is if we're just talking about the team defense, we're always going to be Jalen Brunson's not a defender. Bridges is always going to get torched. That's just, he is a sacrificial lamb. He's just going to be that. As long as Jalen Brunson's a great scorer and a terrible defender, one of our wing players, regardless of who it is always going to be the sacrificial lamb for the other team's scoring guard. Right?
And that goes for Cat too, though. He's going to have to do for both of them. So he's going to have to be a double sacrificial lamb.
But the thing, I understand what your point there too. But the thing is ultimately it's not just Brunson and just Cat that's bad defensively.
Definitely
when you have Josh Hart Josh Hart's not a great defender. So you have three great defenders, right? You have OG, Bridges, and Mitch. We think Deuce is that guy too, but with handling more responsibility, now that Deuce is our sixth man, the reliable bench scorer, Deuce has to do that and then defend. And so we may have to see the step back on defense from Deuce in order for him to produce the consistent bench scoring, right?
Yeah.
But with so many things on the floor, with so many things happening on the floor, these guys ultimately, knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are, they have to play together as a team. Like, because if they expect Cat to become a defender in year 11 or 12, they're crazy. Like, this dude, he is what he is. We just need to get the best out of what he can do. And it's the same thing with Brunson in year 8 or in year 8. We have to just try to get the best out of what Jalen Brunson can do, play together as a team. And sometimes guys like Shamet are going to get roasted, and we're going to watch it play out. And we're going to be like, man, this dude's roasting Landry Shamet. Well, if Brunson was a defender, then, you know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it's so difficult being a two-way player. If Brunson was a defender, he may not be the offensive guy he is. Right? These guys are going to be, like, everybody's not going to be a great two-way player like Giannis. And even Giannis has flaws. So I understand your point. I just want to just shoot the entire team some grace, and that hopefully they can play together and cover up their flaws more so than having those flaws exposed.
I think that's what I was shooting for right there. Hopefully they can play together. That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't just pinpointing
Right.
the lack of individuals.
Right.
Or even the grade of individuals.
Right. No doubt. I'm
talking about even like switching and getting through a screen and stuff like that.
Right.
You could be the crappiest defender in the world and still get through a screen. You could.
Or don't give up. Right.
Or don't quit. Right. Like
yeah.
I've seen Jalen Brunson do the best he can at his height to keep up, stay in front of them, be pesty, whatever he can, and still not be able to play defense.
Right. Right.
So yeah, it's always and I have been giving Bridges a rough time, but I can see. I noticed it last year when Cat got here and Brunson. They both on the floor at the same time. What the toll it took from OG and Mikhail having to run back and forth, run back and forth, run back and forth.
Right. Right. Right.
What do you think the getting these leads on teams that we should be getting them on, and then having so we went from two dynamics in 2 days, completely different, right?
Right.
One was slow poking and then putting on the turbo.
Right.
Playing exactly what we just said, like a team, and certain people going off, doing what they do, but everybody chipping in. To another game where, sure, we're down by 1.5, but we go up and down, then we're up.
Right.
We go further up. But this is many, many times now where we have to make it die hard 5.
I believe there's an element of being overly confident in your personnel. I believe that the Knicks players and staff feel like they can spam the Jalen Brunson button. Right. There's this thing, I don't know, Chat, there's this game I used to be in love with called NHL 94, right? Like it's a hockey game. It's like one of those vertical games you go up and down the screen, right? And so a lot of us, I'm a New Jersey Devils fan, right? I think that's the only hockey team in the New York tri-state area, the New Jersey Devils. If you're not a fan, quit watching hockey, right? Matter of fact, a New Jersey
never even heard of them.
Gold medal for the United States today. Congratulations.
By the way, go USA. That's a big deal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But so there's a team called New Jersey Devils in the NHL?
Absolutely. The best team in the tri-state area. You should try watching some NHL.
You put me on something brand new. I never heard of them. It's something brand new. I never heard of them.
Absolutely, bro. I may have to send you some merch, like a Devils jersey,
yeah.
NJ on the front. But I think,
funny enough, that was the name of my school's team.
Right, indeed. Salute to them. Right. I think the Knicks feel like they can spam the Jalen Brunson button. Hey, when we get in trouble, just press this button right here. And the reason why I bring up NHL, because there was a couple of teams, the Detroit Red Wings used to have a stacked team on that game. There's a guy 91 and a guy that wore 19. And all you had to do was just get them the puck and just spam the button and they would score. Right. And Pittsburgh had a team on there with a guy that wore 68 and a guy that wore 66. And you could just spam the button. Or if you guys remember this game called Tecmo Bowl, where all you had to do was give the football to the Oakland Raiders running back and you couldn't tackle him.
Bo Jackson. I called him Bo Jackson. That was Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
Yes.
Right. And so I think that's where we are with the Knicks. Like,
that was my favorite game.
Yeah, man. And so I don't think so. To Jay's question, I think we have a mental thing with we can come out, try to execute the game plan. We don't have to go because if all else fails, we can give it to Jalen Brunson and let him clear it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I don't think that's you can't win a championship like that. Because while Jalen Brunson is a great NBA player, and I love Jalen Brunson, and I love the Knicks, but Jalen Brunson is not Giannis or SGA or Luka or any of those guys. Jalen Brunson needs help, right?
Right. He's not
And then
joking.
so instead of waiting to the last minute to supply help, why not just come out of the locker room giving help?
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
But we can't. At times we get lulled to sleep because Jalen Brunson is a beautiful NBA scorer. Jalen Brunson is a beautiful scorer, and sometimes watching him score, and I'm not going to say it's like Michael Jordan, but it's like Picasso. It's like watching Picasso paint. It's like watching Basquiat paint, right? Like you see these things, and when you watching them live, you're entranced by the art of painting and not the production of painting. Like Jalen Brunson, we get fascinated with the art of scoring and how beautiful it is, and you tend to watch. And now, Josh Hart does it so much that I've seen Josh Hart legit in the backcourt bring it up with nobody on him, pass it to Jalen Brunson with a man on him. Josh, nobody's covered. Just dribble the ball up the floor. Why are you trying to give Jalen Brunson the ball and he's got a man on him?
Yeah, it's his go-to move, especially when he in his bag he has coast-to-coast layup ability.
Right.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson legit has to tell Josh to go, man. And then Josh, okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I don't think it's just JB. I think it's Bridges. I think it's OG at times. I think it's Cat at times. Like instead of understanding Jalen Brunson is a part of the offense, they get fascinated in watching Jalen Brunson perform, right? And is JB a great performer? Yeah, he's a great performer, bro.
Yeah, but you can't live and die off of that.
He's a great performer, but if me and Jay are on stage and Nas is performing, like I'm in the thing, but I can't get caught up with Nas' performance because he's a great Hall of Fame historic artist, probably doing an iconic song. I got balls too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like and I know it sounds weird the way I'm painting this picture, no pun intended, but we can't allow Jalen Brunson to be a one-man show just for the sake of us watching. Anytime Jalen Brunson is a one-man show, it's got to be because there are others helping him in other ways. Like, are we screening hard enough? Are we cutting hard enough? Are we knocking down shots when he gets it to us? Right? Are we on the offensive glass like we used to be?
Are we on the rebound attack? Yeah, definitely.
That's my thing with JB. I'm not saying JB doesn't do enough. What I'm saying is others have to get out of it. Bro, you can't just, we're down by 18 to the Houston Rockets in the third quarter. We'll just flip the Jalen Brunson switch and win the game at the end.
Right.
That's not a strategy.
No, it's not.
It worked last night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
we're in a close game with the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls out here, they ain't playing, they trying to win. Flip the Jalen Brunson button, and we'll win by 7 going away, or 5, however many, 6 going away.
Right.
Right. You can't just
Yeah,
like
they definitely have that in their that's a mindset that they have. I think they've been stuck in that mindset ever since everybody was hurt in 24 in the playoffs. They've been stuck in that mindset ever since then.
okay.
Ever since him and Debo were going off, and there's no more Debo, so it's got to be him only. I've watched them literally go up for a layup and turn their head to find where he is and throw it to him.
Yeah. I've seen Mitchell Robinson grab offensive rebounds 4 feet away from the rim and pass the ball back out to the perimeter.
Every game. Yep. Well, every game he's in.
Right. Now, does he finish? Now, does he finish sometimes? Like if it's above the rim, when he's in motion, does he try to finish it? Yeah. But if he comes down 2 feet on the ground, instead of going back up, I notice he'll look for JB and them on the perimeter. He'll look for him.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm saying that these incidents occurred. For whatever reason, they chose, that's how they choose to operate, whatever. Right.
And I am sold on the fact that if they did that JB could still get the same numbers that he gets if they stop doing that, and Mitch could literally average a double-double if he didn't turn his back from the rim, but just turned around and went back up to the rim.
Right.
It might be a mild one, like a 10-pointer, but still it would be.
Right.
And I have screamed at Mitch all the day. What are you doing? Just turn around and dunk that thing.
Yeah, throw that thing down, man. Throw that thing down, bro.
Yeah.
So
I think go ahead, brother.
Oh, one other thing real quick. I was gonna just mention too that Gershon Yabusele started tonight and he had 13 rebounds.
Yes, he did.
Gershon Yabusele had 11 points, 13 rebounds, and he legit looked like he wanted to. Gershon Yabusele looks like a quality NBA player.
And he is, just not in New York.
Right. Yeah.
And notice something. It happened twice now. Chicago, and I'm not going to say it's not the same thing as Philadelphia. Philadelphia, everybody was hurt, right? They got rid of one, maybe two people, but all the core was just hurt, and they were just using him. I think Grimes was there, right? And they were just using who they had. So, of course, if you're going to be playing the majority of the minutes, you're going to get an opportunity to get numbers. And because he had that opportunity, we gave him an opportunity. The same thing is going on in Chicago. He immediately, because let's say that this trade was with OKC. Is Yabusele starting with OKC? No. He's coming off the bench, and he's probably even coming off the bench after Williams and after who knows.
Right.
But he goes to a team that's in transition mode, but not as deep as what Philadelphia was going through, and he's performing.
You know what the lesson I learned is from what you just said?
What's that?
Chicago will draft VJ Edgecombe next year. Chicago will draft VJ Edgecombe or somebody similar next year because of the thing. Yeah.
You know, that man was dying. I've never heard of this in my life. He gave up that second guaranteed amount of money, knowing that he didn't have a performance. Usually, you're willing to give up money because your performance, you're banking on yourself and your performance. And he didn't have a this year resume, last year resume,
Right.
this year was his first year
This year, yeah.
resume to do that,
Right.
and he wanted out so bad he did it.
Yeah, because he wanted to bet on himself. He knows he's a quality NBA player.
Right, he know he could
In
do
his
that.
mind, now,
Right.
how we view him and how he views himself can be totally different.
Right. I mean, to his he's playing well this year.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for him.
Right.
Now I'm saying he's playing well now. And I don't think that he, a lot of people say he didn't get a fair shake here.
Yeah.
That's partially true. I think in the first handful of games, let's call it 15, they gave him all the opportunities in the world to show that he could do it.
Right.
And they decided at that moment he couldn't. And the moment they decided that, he became that 45-second guy. And then he became the no guy.
I see it a little bit different. Right. I see it as the Knicks absolutely gave him a chance. Right. They absolutely gave him a chance. Right. Because he was getting a steady 10 minutes to prove himself. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yabusele got here. He was playing in front of Huck Porty, in front of Diawara, and in front of others, right?
Yep.
He was in the rotation. And as a matter of fact, he had a significant role at the beginning of the season when Josh Hart was hurt.
He sure did. Yep.
Yabusele, Gershon Yabusele, here's how you earn stuff in life. Take your opportunity and be better than the person in front of you. So Yabusele got an opportunity. All he had to do was be better than Josh Hart. Surprise, he wasn't.
Right.
Yabusele, all you had to do was be better than OG Anunoby. Right? Surprise, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Yabusele basically is what he is. He is a quality NBA player that has to have a certain thing in place for him to look like an every night guy. So while Yabusele, it feels like it wasn't a fair shake. What if Mike Brown would have got here and gave Yabusele role to Josh Hart off rip? Right? Would that have been fair to Josh? No, that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? It's like chat. So I do a Mets channel also, right? And
you do?
So, yeah, but sometimes, bro, and sometimes I'll be on there for like 4 hours, bro. But
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, man, the New York Mets Lounge, bro. So,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I'm on there with like a national recording artist, man, hip hop legend in the city, right? So, but
I heard he's nice.
Yeah, I heard he's nice. I check him out on Instagram, but so my thing is though is this, right? The Yabusele thing, we gave him the opportunity to showcase what he can do and earn more minutes. Bro, is set up perfectly. It was set up perfectly for him because Mitchell Robinson does not play back-to-back games. That means Gershon Yabusele, for a stretch, was Cat's immediate backup. During that time, Yabusele was just Yabusele, right? Now, here's the thing that me and Alawaz talk about a lot, and I think it's very understated. It is very difficult playing in Madison Square Garden for most people.
It sure
Right?
is.
For most people, that place is a torture chamber. Torture chamber. And
Right.
if you play for the Knicks and you're bad, it could be hell in a cell. If you're bad and you're a Knick, you could get booed mercilessly in there. Right?
Yeah, it's a complete difference, and because most people who come here that's not a Knick try to shine.
Right.
If you're not trying to shine as a Knick, you're in trouble.
Right. But Yabusele, remember, Mitch at the beginning of the season, Mitch wasn't playing back-to-back games, and Josh Hart was out due to injury. So Yabusele was Karl-Anthony Towns' direct backup. Now, what Yabusele did with those minutes, he played extremely hard, but his shot wasn't going. And then his shot wasn't going, you could tell it could kind of get into his head. And then his defense started lapsing because his confidence was kind of shaky. But he kept playing hard throughout and kept being a good teammate. Every time somebody dunked, the first person off the bench to stand up and clap was Yabusele.
Yeah, he sure was. I even saw it tonight.
But the thing is, and I understand that, like, I understand as a Knicks fan, we want everyone to shine. The thing is, Yabusele got his chance. What if we would have gave, instead of Yabusele having that moment, what if we would have gave those minutes to Diawara from the start with? Where would Diawara be right now? Was that fair to Diawara that they brought in a guy ahead of you when you're the draft pick? Life ain't fair, bro.
Life ain't fair. So that's number one. Number two is I see it a tiny bit different right there. Just that part. I think due to the lack of Yabusele showing up, because to the point you're speaking of, Yabusele started a couple games. Let's not forget that. I remember a game where his first game where he shot 2 threes, missed both of them, and hit the third one, and he exhaled. I almost felt it in my house. I was like, I felt like the breath was coming through. Like, oh, what's that?
And he was under so much pressure. Yeah, he put so much pressure on himself.
Right. I think him underperforming gave Diawara not only the chance that he finally deserved, but more minutes than he might have started, more minutes and more minutes, because he did exactly what Yabusele should have did.
Right.
He chased after people. He when he couldn't do something, he figured it out. He worked on it. He went up to the rim. He wasn't afraid of the contact. He grabbed the rebounds. He hit the three. If he didn't hit the three, he went after. What are you always taught? Shoot the ball and run directly to the rim for the rebound. He was doing these things. Follow your shot. So he did all those things. So it wasn't fair, and at the same time, I think Yabusele was birthed. I mean, Yabusele helped birth the Diawara movement.
Okay. Yeah.
In a way.
That's what I'm saying. Yabusele was given the opportunity, right?
Right.
He just didn't. There were multiple pathways. Mitch is not playing back-to-back games. Okay, there's your extra minutes on back-to-back nights, right? Josh Hart was hurt early on with the back, right? Got out of the rotation. Here's your chance to establish yourself. So when Josh comes back, you could still find a way to get more minutes, right? Build upon greatness. Yabusele had the opportunity to build upon greatness. He got out to a slow start. Everybody came back. And from there, it was like, now you're trying to find your way. on a team where the top 7 rotation guys are set.
That's right.
You're not gonna take Mitchell Robinson's minutes or Deuce McBride's minutes. So now you're probably the 8th person, but you're not gonna be the 8th person because you need Jordan Clarkson, or at the time you needed Jordan Clarkson off the bench with whatever, right? And now you're scrounging for minutes with yourself and Landry Shamet, and you got the opportunity after Landry Shamet injured his shoulder. Remember, Landry Shamet missed a lot of this season.
That's right.
With the shoulder injury. So the opportunities were there for Yabusele. The unfortunate thing for he is that his skill set didn't fit what the Knicks wanted to do. Mike Brown wanted to run.
Too bright.
And Yabusele is 270 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he did the right thing, he could have been knocking people out on a pick. He could have been knocking them clear out.
Yeah.
But he wasn't picking up what people were dropping down. He just couldn't do it. And I really believe that the lights were too bright for him here.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because Chicago has bright lights.
Chicago
we're talking about Jordan, Rose, it's bright there. But it's no longer Jordan and Rose playing there. It's different. But it's still bright. But it's not Madison. It's not the Mecca.
Right.
But it is Jordan's home. So he goes there and he plays different. And
yeah.
I don't feel like anybody left him out. He didn't. He wasn't an emotional mess. Like you said, he was applauding. He was clapping. He was part of that team. He'd never, when they called him to get in, he ran in fast. He didn't have a problem with it. But to give up that second gig, that's a man saying, "Get me out of New York."
That was a man saying, "I know I can play, and if I can't play here, I want to play somewhere."
Right. I'm not going to play here. Actually, it's a man saying, "I'm not playing here. They're not going to play here."
Right. Yep. So salute again to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for coming through, hanging out. Man, I'm gonna wrap up right here this week. Gonna be crazy. Just got a new schedule. Things are gonna be crazy, man. I gotta figure some stuff out, man. But I appreciate everyone for coming in, being a part of the conversation. Thank y'all for coming through and hanging out with us, man. Check out the New York Mets Lounge, man. Luis Torrens turned into Babe Ruth today.
He sure did. Come hang with us, man. Tomorrow, maybe during the spring training game.
Yeah,
we'll be chilling.
Maybe Luis Torrens will hit 2 more home runs. Who knows?
Yo, the man was putting them in the upper tank.
Yeah. Who knew?
I wonder if Yabusele could hit.
Yeah, the super soldier serum is a real thing in baseball.
It really is.
All right, thank you.
I love spring training. All jokes aside, come and chill with us at the Mets Lounge, New York Mets Lounge, man. We have a great time. Ask David.
Yeah, man.
Dave, invite Kat.
Invite Kat, yeah. Peace, everybody.
Peace.